we talk
What are you
soccer.
watching?
We
Oh,
talk soccer. We're both from the same area.
Football.
So
Oh, you are from the same area.
Yeah,
football, yeah. So we're huge Man United fans.
Oh.
So throughout much of the season, we would run into Mr.
Yeah,
McShane's
we watched the European
trailer.
Cup, and then we watched United at the beginning of the season,
Yeah,
and then the season's still on, so we're still
we're still
checking
watching.
in because they play the cup tomorrow anyway.
Oh.
I'll get
It's
random.
fascinating.
Yeah, we'll be up at 4:30 in the morning, like texting each other, going, "Did you
You
see
will
that
not.
rubbish?"
Will you really get up at 4:30 to watch a football
Oh, I do in
slash
LA,
soccer
yeah.
game?
Oh yeah,
You
absolutely.
do?
Oh,
Without
absolutely.
doubt. There's a
Put
time
the scarf on, make a cup of tea, put a meat pie in the oven, and chant old dirty songs to it, don't we? Jake?
Yeah.
Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you?
You're not singing anymore.
Well, I don't even know anything about soccer slash football.
No, well, it's a ritual in England.
I
That's
like
what
the
they
idea of
do.
wearing a scarf and having tea and a meat pie. I've never even had a meat pie. What is that?
Oh, you're missing out.
Well, up north we have them, and then they call them. It's like a classic football game. Is a meat pie and a cup of bovril.
What's
which
a
is like-
bovril?
Bovril is like what? How can I say? It's sort of hot consomme, England's
Oh,
version.
like
it's
beef?
like it's beef's ass with hot water. Stirred around and a meat pie like that, and it's like so you can eat like that. Put your scarf around and when still sing at the same time. That's very English. We love it.
I want to do that
You wanna
sometime
be
now.
there. You have to be
It
there.
gets cold up on the stands, so you
Yeah,
gotta
it
you gotta
does.
have something nice and warm to kind of warm your insides and
And
a
they
meat
go
pie.
Pucker pies.
A pucker pie.
Pucker
What's
pie.
a pucker pie?
Pucker is the English comes from great. Pucker means absolutely immaculate. It
Oh.
comes from the Indian Raj when the Raj in India
Yeah.
when it was pucker. Oh, you look absolutely pucker.
You look
So these
pucker.
are pucker pies.
I wanna look pucker.
You're looking very pucker.
You're looking
Oh.
very pucker.
very pucker.
Thanks very much.
Kerry. Pucker Kerry.
I have a lot of confidence right now. So thank you.
As you should. As you should.
Well, sometime you should come to a Texas football game.
I would love
And check that
Texas
out.
forever.
The
Longhorns.
Longhorns. The Longhorns.
The Longhorns.
Yes.
Boom.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's all that you don't know anybody. It's because they wear all those silly helmets. You can't tell who anybody is. It's a game. Now we've run 5 yards. Stop. And we'll all reset. Now we'll all start again. We run 5 yards. Whoop. Stop. It's not a game exactly you can enjoy. It's a game made for television. That's the problem with it.
Well, I would say, though, that I prefer to watch soccer on TV because it just goes the time it says. Like a football game says 2 hours, but it lasts 4 hours.
It's 90
4
it's a
hours.
90-minute
I know.
game. Yeah.
It's a whole different thing. I
Right.
mean, it's an afternoon out, you know.
Right.
Which is
It's
a
more of a
different
social, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah,
Really?
It's an
England,
event.
England is, you have a pucker pie, and then you put your scarf and you go out and you beat the crap out of the other team who were standing outside the supporters. Isn't that right, Rick?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the idea. But it's called tribalism. Actually, that's why we haven't been at war for a few years. Every 4 years, the world has a World Cup.
Yes.
And most of even America has a very good team, and everybody descends wherever it is for that month. And it's like you can hate everybody in the world for that month because it's soccer.
Mm-hmm.
I hate the Dutch. I hate the Uruguayans. I hate the Nigerians. But it's a good way of getting rid of all that crap because the tournament's over,
Yes,
and
the
it's usually
tournament's
won by Germany, which is a real weird part of it.
Yeah.
And then it's all over for another 4 years.
And everyone's friends again.
And everyone's
Yeah.
friendly
Well,
again. It's a good way of getting rid of all that tension. Perhaps we should suggest it to your government at the moment.
I will. I'm going to send a note. I'm sure they're like, Carrie Lum said it. It's to do. That's the thing.
Faux show.
But something else, British people, y'all are in this amazing show that everybody's in love with. Maybe in love with as much as soccer / football, whatever you call it.
I mean, yeah.
I think everybody's very excited. Most tweeted about event today.
No,
American
I've not
Gods.
seen it, Kerry, which is interesting. I mean, because I hadn't seen one frame of it. I mean, you do the gig,
Yeah.
then you go away. And seeing it this morning is great because you see it with a whole lot of people. And I knew the actors were fine and the writers were fine, but you never know that experience. And it was terrific. It really was nice to be there. The reaction, the show looked great. Everybody was good in it,
Mm-hmm.
And it's very exciting. I've not seen anything like it. Say that, with an open heart. I've not seen anything quite like it for a long, long time on TV. It does. I mean, I don't know if everybody get the first one, but you've got to remember, everything is a reveal, and reveal. And Ricky's the guy Ricky really is the audience that takes you through this weird experience of, again, we're back to it, immigration to America. Everybody coming to America.
They like it here.
Well, why not? I like it. I've lived here for 40 years. It's
Yeah.
a great country to live in, yeah.
What was your reaction today?
It was. I mean, I have seen it because I had to do some press, and I wanted to
Okay.
make sure I was up to scratch with it all. But that's the first time I saw it above any size of like an iPad. It's a very different experience, and to watch it with first timers as well was a great experience. Like Ian and all the crowd around me, because you kind of hear the moments that hit. So you hear the humor when Mr. Wednesday turns up at the airport and he's bumbling away, and then all of a sudden he's this suave Mr. Wednesday, and the audience reacts to that, and you kind of feel the kind of energy in the room, which was great. With Betty Gilpin, the humor that she brought, and then kind of you see these shocking moments, the fight with Sweeney and Shadow, and you can hear them wincing, and that's something you don't really get when you watch TV. You kind of assume everyone's at home watching TV and they kind of just roll, but when you're in the movies. You kind of
experience, the other one's a grouping.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and for that show today, it was really great to be there amongst, and you could followed it. You heard the sort of, you got the sense that people were with it the whole time,
They
which
really
is a
felt
nice feeling.
engaged. They were very, very engaged, and that's what we wanted. Yes, it's entertaining, but we want you to be, really engaged with it. And to see that kind of experience was fantastic today. I'm really excited for them to see, for the rest of the world to see it, and for them to see more, because obviously we know what's to come, and that's just like Ian
You
said
do some
before.
very fine work, Mr. Whittle.
Oh, well, I was in wonderful company, and it's quite an honour to work with one of the finest actors in our generation.
Put
I'm
your
just
scarf on.
Who are you? Who are you?
I have to go to a Man United game.
You do.
I
You
mean,
have to.
you guys have
do.
talked me into it.
I'll take you to a Man United
That's
game,
our
and
team.
you can take me to a Longhorn game.
I'd love it.
Deal.
Video it. It'd be perfect. What do you think about gods in general? I mean, because the underlying theme of this, I mean, it's mythology through.
It's
Neil's
about
eye.
faith
Yeah.
as well. People say, "Oh, it's a faithless novel." You say, "No, it's about the frustration of the faithless."
Right.
Actually, a lot of it is if you have nothing to believe in at all. Well, that's why you usually get turned to other things. In a sense. But it's not an overtly political show. It's not an overtly. The show is about a lot of themes. It's coming to America. Immigration, people getting on with each other, the modern world taking over technology, and my character bringing him, because it's not just an accident I hire
Right.
Shadow to be my bodyguard and my driver, whatever. There's something behind that too, which will be revealed later. And, taking him to see his wife, who he thinks is dead, and she's not dead, and then they take it all, but it's all taken very literally. It's like, when he tells me, I'll never forget that when you say, I said, "Why are you looking at my wife came back? She's dead." And he says, "Oh, well, I mean, fine, she'll sort it out. Once they're very tenacious. But they're dead when they come back. But once they get what they want, they'll go away." It's like, well, why not? It's like he wants him to believe that extraordinary things can happen in life.
Yeah.
We-
And that's what I really find fascinating about this project is, we're talking about lots of the fantastical elements, and we've got a great post team that bring together this CGI and fantastic element, but there's very real dynamics, human dynamics, the extraordinary people. These are gods, but they're not throwing thunderbolts, crushing cities. These are extraordinary people in ordinary circumstances with real problems, and at the end of the day, you've got these two gentlemen just talking the shit in a car. They're just, it's a great dynamic of Mr. Wednesday just prodding and poking and just manipulating Shadow. And Shadow, he comes out a broken man of prison. He's lost Laura, his life, his world, his love. And so he's just wandering aimlessly. He's got nothing to live for anymore. And Mr. Wednesday kind of takes him under his wing and, he kind of just toys with him. It's something that everyone can relate to. Even with Shadow and Laura, when she comes back from the dead, you find yourself just watching a beautiful love story. You forget that, yes, one of them's dead. It's just about two lovers who they've got issues to resolve. And so even the biggest skeptics of fantasy novels and fantasy shows can really enjoy this because it's about people.
Well, I think because, Rick, the book is a perfect blueprint for a TV series, because the book doesn't go from A to B. You'll suddenly jump to a chapter about, you think, wow, what's that about? And then you'll go back to the journey of Shadow, and then you'll go, oh. And it seems a perfectly structure for Michael Green, who I worked with before in a series called Kings, and Brian Fuller, they're both very gifted writer, creators, and very different styles, which kind of come together very well and work with each other. And they found a way of translating it for their version And Neil, who's very involved with it, I mean, we don't see much of him because he's writing another 10 books in some other part of the world somewhere. But, he's very involved with them on how the story progresses. So it's been a very worthwhile experience.
How did y'all feel about taking on a book that so many people enjoy?
I don't think you can even. You just have to ignore that.
Ignore it.
Yeah, absolutely. You just do
No,
your version.
yeah.
Do you ignore it?
I didn't-
The
Yeah.
game. I mean, I think you got a taste of it when we went down to Comic Con. When
Yeah.
I mean, he's a huge figure in that
Yeah.
fantasy
He's a
world.
rock star in the
Yeah,
fantasy world. But at the end of the day, what puts our minds at peace is that Neil Gaiman's been attached from the very beginning, from script to casting to story, and he's given his
Yeah.
blessing. So, if Neil Gaiman's okay with it, then the fans have nothing but, a
I'm
choice.
sure they'll have plenty to say.
They'll have plenty to say, but it doesn't
Look
matter
out,
because
Twitter.
Neil's happy with it, and he's the man.
That's fine. That's
No,
fine. It's great.
but
It all
it's about opinion, and that's what the show's about.
Yeah,
It's about
yeah.
raising awareness and allowing everyone to have their own opinion. And just because you have an opinion, it doesn't make my opinion wrong. Because you believe in a certain God doesn't mean my God's unworthy. So, and that's what the show
You're just
is.
not entitled to your own facts.
Yes, yes. Well, I have alternative facts, so I'm okay. I'm okay.
Everyone has their own now, I think. It
I
works
don't
out.
think it's ridiculous. That's another joke.
That's we don't give any attention to that.
No, you can't.
There
You can't because it's so ridiculous when you hear somebody say that. When you hear somebody say, "Well, I was giving you alternative facts," and you go, "Well, I'm living in an alternative universe." Then I mean, it's wonderful, isn't it? But we all know that that the present regime is having us all on, and the press knows they're having them all on, and it's one big sort of having everybody on. I mean, when the walls cave in, I don't know, but it will sooner or later, I presume. When somebody says, "Hold on a second, bullshit far enough, come on, let's get some real questions." But nobody seems to be interested in that. They're all having a whoopee time,
Well,
They call American Gods fantasy. It's
Oh,
nothing
no,
on
yeah.
real life.
No,
Nothing on real life.
they're full of it, as they say. Everybody's full of it at the moment.
oh, brother. Well, I think the show is going to be as big a hit as people are excited about it, if that makes sense. Because I think people are really looking forward to it, so I think it's going to be great.
Let's hope
It's
so,
exciting. It's going to be exciting to
There you go.
watch every week because it's all going. Every week's kind of going to be a cliffhanger, isn't it?
Well, it's the good thing is it's the TV landscape is full of so many procedurals where the characters, they have a problem, they solve it. Next episode they get a problem, they solve it. This is very much a journey. This is a story. There's so many different elements and themes.
And we
to
only
it.
cover like the first 100 pages in the first series, so there's plenty
Right.
more to come.
Yeah,
It's like a
true
long
story.
form movie.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like what
Yeah.
cable does best.
Yes, it is. Well,
So,
thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
So looking forward to it.
Thanks for having us.
Great.